as they are crossing us, we are doing our job as a party. So let them cross, let them face their small, as the president called them, they are what? Satanic in the things that they do. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we today? Welcome to the headquarters. I apologize. I'm sure I'm the one that have kept us waiting this long. I will not use the usual excuse. So I'll just apologize and not use an excuse. Alright, I'll go right into it. Today is the 18th of February 2026. I hope you all received Valentine's gifts. If you did not, you're in the wrong relationship. Anyway, we'll talk about the LC1 and LC2 elections that have been finally set. By that I mean the date. It has been a long period of time since the country last held the local council or LC1 and LC2 elections, following their continuous extension due to lack of adequate funding, according to government or according to the Electoral Commission. However, UPC was not convinced that government lacked funds to hold the most important local council elections in our society. But there was no goodwill. This is a very unfortunate experience that we had to endure for such a long period of time. If you remember, while the Independent Electoral Commission was organizing for the general elections for the 15th of January, there was no extension, there was no excuse that there is no money. But the most crucial election of the LC1 and LC2s, these are the actual government officials that do the actual work that help the poorest of Ugandans or the most vulnerable of Ugandans. These elections have been postponed, I think, for the last 2 years. Unfortunately, I hope this time that the Independent Electoral Commission has set a date or a month should be able to conduct these elections. The excuse of we have no money will not work this time, because if it is a general election and Uganda wants to elect a president, they cannot postpone. But if it's for local government that actually help the Ugandans, then the money is not there. As UPC, we shall not accept that, and we hope that this time the Independent Electoral Commission will follow its pronouncement. UPC welcomes a pronouncement by the Ministry of Local Government that the long-awaited LC1 and LC3 elections are finally set for March 2026, that is next month, and the party is going to fully participate in these elections. As we wait for the release of the electoral guidelines for the said elections by the Independent Electoral Commission, UPC takes note that the country is operating a multi-party system that goes hand in hand with campaigns, making decisions and choices. However, the idea of voters lining up behind candidates of their choice exposes the voters to a whole range of risks, such as much as it is cost-effective, UPC maintains its position that voting should be by secret ballot, which as a means to ensure harmony in our society. And the party therefore urges government and the line agencies, that is the Electoral Commission, to explore ways of conducting the forthcoming elections of the local government or the local council elections by separate means. We have noticed this just by the NRA primaries. Most of the elections are by lining up behind the candidate. And we have seen the violence that come with, as some people are given money and end up lining up behind a different person. And that kind of hatred does not stop there. It extends for a period of time, and we have seen a number of people being injured or fighting and even hurting, others even killing one another. And our main job is to protect lives at all costs. As UPC, we are saying, much as it works for the politicians, that I want to see who stands behind me or who has voted for me based on what I have given them. As a political party, as heads of political parties, we say the integrity and independence of our voters should be protected. That they should be able to vote whoever they want to, because they want to vote a particular candidate, not because they were given a small something. And that is what the the lining up behind a candidate does. It forces people to line up behind someone who has given them a small something or a bribe or some money, rather than voting for the actual candidate that they wish for. This is why you keep telling people, eat their money but do not vote for them. Someone who pays you to vote for them is not going to do the work. So we advocate for separate ballot, and we condemn the lining up behind the candidate to protect the sanity of our communities and also to protect life. UPC is calling upon all the local party leaders, especially at the village branch and the parish structures, to start identifying candidates who represent the party in the local council elections. This doesn't mean that as UPC we have not been ready. For the 3-4 times these elections have been postponed, we had candidates, but some candidates have participated in the just concluded elections, so we need to get other candidates to fill up these positions. Members are highly encouraged to offer themselves for such leadership positions, and the entire membership is encouraged to support whoever will emerge as the party candidate through a fair internal processes. The party will release the guidelines for electing the party flag bearers in due course. As UPC, we have already prepared candidates, especially for LC1 and LC2 elections, because we know how important that is to the grassroots, and we know how that is important to the vulnerable people. When you look at, many people underestimate or undermine the LC1 and LC2 elections, but those are the actual people that do the work, that support the vulnerable people. Because even when you're reporting the case to police, they say, where is the LC letter? Did you first report to the LC? And now when you look at the LCs that we have today, they have aged, they are old, we need a change when you look at them. For the area that I am in, when you look at my LC, the man is there enjoying himself with his grandkids. He doesn't even know. You ask him for a stamp, he's sending the grandkids who don't even know where it is. So it is a mess. These are signs that we need to change, and we urge young people to come up and take up these positions. There's a mentality that those positions are kept for the old people. No. We can have a young generation or have it in LC positions, and we'll have the work done better and for the good of our people. So young people, please do not shy away. The only positions are not for Member of Parliament, but you can start with the LC1 and actually make change that will grow your career. It's very fortunate or unfortunate, depending on your religion or your way of life, that we have Ramadan and the Lent period at the same time. So Uganda People's Congress would like to wish the entire Muslim community a very blessed month of Ramadan, which officially starts today, the 18th of February 2026, as the first day of fasting. May this holy month come with hope and be the month of reflection, sacrifice, forgiveness, reconciliation, and renewal of faith. We are from elections. We have made so many people angry, or so many people are mad at us. So let us try to forgive one another, reconcile with broken relationships, renew our faith, and by that we can do this through this holy month for the Muslims. UPC encourages all God-loving people who are in position to reach out to the vulnerable families and support them with any necessary assistance to enable them fast in this holy month of Ramadan. This is very common with Muslims. During Ramadan, they collect some money, some foodstuffs, and take to the mosque to be able to cater for those that are unable to feed or for those that are unable to help themselves during the holy month. I think the Christians can also borrow a leaf from this. This helps everyone, and there are so many people that fast, but at the end of the fasting period are unable to, provide basic needs of food, water, drink. And if we come up as a community, as Ugandans, even if you're a Christian and can afford, please take some food to a mosque, take some food to a church, and be able to help other people. In the same way, we wish all Christians a very blessed fasting period. We call it the Lent period as Christians, and by which God's grace started on the same day with Ramadan. So I hope no Muslim or no Christian will be seen having lunch. We should all be fasting and pray for our country at most, because the country we are living in is in a mess. We can only do our part as humans, but we also need the special intervention from heaven. I don't know, Muslims, you call heaven what? Jannah. Yes, from heaven and Jannah. So if we combine the prayers, depending on the God you serve, unfortunately, I don't know if the witch doctors have a fasting period. Whichever you believe in, please let us combine and pray for our country to be able to make a unifying change. At Upc calls upon government to use this holy month to reflect in the spirit of good faith and release all political prisoners. We have seen so many people being arrested with the just concluded elections. Others were arrested even before, like Dr. Kiza Besigye. And as Upc, we have come up several times to say, please, we demand the unconditional release of these prisoners. And fortunately, some have been released, though unfortunately the big wigs that should be released have not yet been released. So as we are all praying and fasting, government should have that reflection and know that Uganda comes first before any of us, and therefore what makes Uganda is its people, and those people that have been arrested without cause should be released unconditionally. With this, for God and my country. It is their cross to carry. You sleep with the devil, hey, you know the results. As Upc, we are on the ground mobilizing. Our party president is on the ground. As I speak now, he's in Kitgum, mobilizing. We are not sleeping. As they are crossing us, we are doing our job as a party. So let them cross. Let them face their small, as the president called them, they are what? Satanic in the things that they do. So let them continue whatever they are doing. But as Upc, we are moving ahead. We are back on the ground to mobilizing our grassroots. The elections have ended, but for us, mobilization has just started as we prepare for the next 5 years to contest for the presidency of this country come 2031. So as we are working, so if people are crossing, let them cross. As we go with those that are committed to the party, those that have the heart of Uganda, and those are the most important people, because as we keep saying that Uganda comes first before anybody else. So we are fighting for Uganda, not individuals, nothing else, but for Uganda and its people. Patrick Ochan came in as an independent member of parliament who stood against a party flag bearer, Honorable Max Akora. So he was not a member of Upc. He's an independent candidate who decided to choose the ruling party. So that is not news to us. So whatever he chooses, if you are going to FPC, NRM, whatever he chooses, it is his cross to carry. As I said, Upc has not just started organizing for the L1 and also 2 elections today. With the continuous postponement of these elections, we had candidates. However, there are some candidates that decided to participate in the just concluded LC3 district election, district chairpersons, and some of them won, especially in the northern region. So we would like the structures to identify other people to fill those positions that have already been taken up by the just concluded elections. But we already have some people that were on place and who are being groomed through the ideology school to be able to carry out their work vigorously. But for other regions, we are calling upon the structures to identify where they are not there.